Hi students, today we are going to discuss grade 11 biological processes in human body. Right? In this chapter, first one, digestion system. So before that, we need to know about some processes related with digestion system. Here you can see in the screen biological processes in human body. Many different biological processes take place in human body. We will discuss about those processes, the system specialized to perform them. That means in our body, when we eat food, it will going to digest. When we touch any hot things, we feel hot, right? Say if we drink more water, excess water have excrete from our body, excretion, digestion. Sometimes you know that oxygen, when we inhale air, the oxygen have absorbed by our body and carbon dioxide will exhale from our body. So respiration, digestion, excretions, and sensitives, reproduction, those processes in living things. Now we are going to study about digestion systems, right? The second slide, processes of food digestion. Energy is required for different biological processes that take place in human body. Energy is obtained through food that we take in the body. That means, say someone, a person, he is the person who is going to run, at that moment he need energy, otherwise he can't move. So the person should produce what? Energy. Without energy he can't move it. Not only this, you can identify another thing. The human body, the body temperature of the human body always mean normally the ideal person, right? It is in our body, the warm blood temperature, right? Due to that our body temperature is 37 degrees Celsius, approximately 37 degrees Celsius. In always until to die, our body temperature 37 degrees Celsius. Think about any hearth or some here candle. Until to available of wax, it can burn continually. If wax is going to finish, we can't expect this flame, because these heat productions depend on the fuel such as wax. Anyway, thing related with this, if our body always be in 37 degrees Celsius, our body continually it has to produce heat energy. Our body always produce heat energy. Otherwise, we can't keep in a constant temperature as 37 degrees Celsius. Now you can understand energy is required for different biological processes. Different biological processes mean we already find out there are so many biological processes in our body. Say example, growth, respiration, digestion, reproduction and moving, right? All are some biological processes. So the energy is required for the different biological processes that take place in human body. Energy is obtained through food that we take in the body. Say I just raised the diagram, because how does food involve in the production of energy? Now see, the food as a fuel to produce in our body, right? Say example, we take in the body, say without food, say example, in our body we produce energy through the respiration. Sometime I can remember when I asked a question from the students, why do we respirate? You may know that. Why do all respirate? Respiration. Why do we respirate? Most of the students can think about this answer like to live. Again I need to ask another question, why do we live? You can't say to respirate. So why do we respirate? Yes, there are some processes important to produce energy. Without respiration, we can't produce energy. You may ask, sir, when we inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide, how does energy produced in our body? When oxygen, inhale the oxygen and exhale the carbon dioxide. But we may think in the grade 6 or 7 that class is okay, but that time also you are going to analyze. But why do we respirate? To produce energy in our body. How does this produce in our body? Yes, at that time I can ask another question. We are living things. Where is that live? Right? Which part of the organ is considered as living things? Which part of the organ? Which part of the body considered as living things? Whole body. Because our whole body constructed by cells. You know, the basic structural unit of the body is cell. So when you consider my finger, I can take the muscles tissue. The muscles tissue, when I keep under the microscope, I have seen several muscle cells. Each of the cells are find out as living things. If they be in living condition, how does produce energy? Yes, here see the screen. As the wax as the fuel. This is as the fuel. This is the muscle cells. Into that muscle cell, right? Into that muscle cells, glucose C6H12O6 as a fuel. This is fuel. Plus going to react with oxygen. Here also the wax as a fuel wax as a fuel, and oxygen is essential substance to burn. Oxygen is essential substance to burn. Without oxygen, the candle can't produce heat or energy. Can't produce. But here, energy can produce through the chemical reaction as burning. But here also, into the body, we have find out fuel as the food, especially carbohydrate, and oxygen is essentials one, oxygen, and produce energy. That time the production CO2 and H2O are the substances which are not necessary most of the time. Additional water and carbon dioxide are considered as a waste. That means the carbon dioxide definitely as a waste, but excess water also help to remove the waste products from our body. Anyway, the main target is what? The production. The production is energy. E-N-E-R-G-Y, energy. So this is important. So this reaction is considered as a cellular respiration. These reactions occur in the cell. These reactions occur in the cell. Right? Therefore, in our whole body, it's constructed by cells. Into that cells, we have find out energy production. How does this possible? Food as a fuel react with the oxygen and make the substances carbon dioxide and water. Same time, it will release the energy. It can be used in various biological processes in our body. Anyway, now you can understand the sentence of this. This is I took from our textbook. So we don't need unnecessary things here. These sentences are took from the textbook. Right? Through the textbooks we have going to explain. The students can study, students can refer through this video. Right. Now we will move to the next slide. Food contain carbohydrates, lipids and proteins are complex organic molecules that don't dissolve in water. These compounds can't be absorbed into the human body. Therefore, they should be broken down into small particles. We will come to the first sentence. Food contain nutrition such as carbohydrate, lipids, proteins. Carbohydrates, lipids and proteins again are complex organic molecules. It don't dissolve in water. Don't dissolve in water. So, say our body able to absorb the substance which are dissolved in water. Here these compounds can't be absorbed. What compounds? Carbohydrate. You know that when you study in grade 10, right, the carbohydrate, unit 1, carbohydrate have find out as polysaccharide. Most of the carbohydrate, that means starch, right, polysaccharide, right. Then the lipid also insoluble in water. Protein also insoluble in water. Protein, say such as meat, insoluble in water. Butter, insoluble in water. Bread, piece of bread, insoluble in water. So if we eat those substances, if we eat these kind of substances, it should be change as soluble substance. Otherwise, say when our body, when we eat those substances, so when it go through the gut or digestion system, what happened? It need to change as converted as soluble substance. Soluble substance. Earlier we have find out insoluble substance. Insoluble substance. Insoluble substances converted as soluble substance because otherwise our body can't absorb these things. These compounds can't be absorbed into the human body, therefore they should be broken down into the small particles. Now we understand next one. The processes by which the complex organic compounds are converted into simple organic products to be absorbed into the human body is called digestion of food. That means, say example, when someone eats, as say carbohydrate, right? Carbohydrate. Say starch, 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 right? When eat starch, it is insoluble substance. This is insoluble substance. This is insoluble substance. After it's reached to the digestion systems, right? The digestion system, it will going to convert as glucose, maltose, then glucose. It is going to convert as glucose. But the glucose have find out as soluble substance. This is soluble substance. Right? See, the processes by which the complex organic compound mean what? Complex organic compounds are carbohydrate, and say protein, lipids, right? Those are find out complex organic compound are converted into simple organic compound. That means simple organic compound. Simple organic compound mean what? Yes, it can absorb by the body, say glucose, amino acids, glycerol or lipidic acid, and monosaccharides. That means glucose, fructose, right? You already studied about this, right? Galactose, those are monosaccharides. So the simple organic product to be absorbed into the human body is called digestion. Sometimes students, you know, this is the definition. Sometimes they can ask, what do you mean by digestion? What is digestion? They can ask. At that time you have to explain what is. These are the main points. What is complex organic compounds converted as simple organic compound. Say you can remember the carbohydrate converted as glucose. It can absorb by the body. So the processes by which the complex organic compounds are converted, change into simple organic product to be absorbed into the human body is called digestion, right? The next one, food digestion takes places in two processes, namely mechanical and chemical processes. Actually, this is very interesting one. What is, say, when I eat food, right here, when I eat food, what happened to this? Initially, it is going to under the what I call, here we are going to grinding, because we have a teeth. So you can like a scalp, then you have find out some teeth. It's a jar. There are 4 types of teeth are there, but I don't mention about that here. But anyway, these teeth help to grinding the food, right? When I take the food here, what will happen? It will convert it as small particles. It is converted as small particles. The physical properties of the food going to change. Physical properties mean the thickness or the width or height or the density. Those things are going to change. It is going to convert as small particles, right? When it's going to change as small particles, that also the processes of digestion. Why? Sometimes you can remember the solid, right? The big size of the solid, difficult to dissolve in water. Say mean sodium chloride. Sodium chloride solid, right? Like a stone like one, the biggest stone like crystals, very difficult to dissolve quickly. If you use sodium chloride powder, it is going to dissolve quickly than the crystals. So when it's going to reactions, we can have an idea to increase the reaction. Rate of reactions can be increased. How? If you use crystals, right, it is not efficient than using of powder. Therefore, the powder format is going to increase the rate of reaction. Here, we eat food and going to grind it. What happened? The biggest particles are going to have small particles. After, when it's going to react with the enzymes or chemical reactions, the rate of reaction is going to increase. The efficient reactions possible in a certain time. Therefore, here when we consider the digestion, we are considering mechanical digestion, right? Therefore, here food digestions make place in 2 processes, namely mechanical and chemical one. Chemical reactions. Chemical reactions mean, say example, we can understand here also. Say in our here mouth cavity, it has some link with the salivary gland. Salivary gland. That salivary gland secrete or produce saliva. Saliva as the substance with some enzymes, say ptyalin, right? Ptyalin and ptyalin or amylase. Another name, amylase. Ptyalin or amylase. Those as an enzyme. Enzymes. Enzymes are considered as chemical. Food also chemical. what is chemical reactions? We can't come the initial stage from the production. Say example, sulfur react with oxygen, sulfur dioxide. We can't get the sulfur or oxygen from here. From the production, we can't get again that sulfur. So this is considered as a chemical reaction. What is chemical reactions? It is not reversible, but physical reactions possible. Right? Physical reaction possible. I don't explain about the physical reaction and the chemical reaction, but you should know when they consider the chemical reactions, definitely the structure of the chemical is going to change. We can't get that again. Say example, protein converted as amino acids. We don't get again that from here to there. Therefore, this is considered as a chemical reaction. This is considered as a chemical reaction. What is the protein converted to amino acids? Carbohydrate converted to glucose or monosaccharide. These are chemical reactions. So here they have find out there are two types of digestion. What are they? Physical digestion. That means the biggest particles going to change as a small particle, that is physical digestion. The chemical digestion have find out what is the chemicals such as enzymes which are involved into change the substance, a small organic substance, that is chemical reactions. Right? So food digestion take place in two processes, namely mechanical and chemical reactions. Right? Next slide. During the mechanical processes, the physical nature, we already studied that. Physical nature. What is physical nature? That say this is the height and width and breadth and right. This is length, breadth, height. This is the three-dimension one. So it is going to change as a small things, small particles. Definitely the physical properties is going to change. Why? The length and breadth and height is going to change. Right? Therefore, we can say the physical nature is going to change. Where the mechanical processes, we are considering about mechanical processes of the food is altered. Example, breaking down of the food into small piece by teeth inside. Not this is say protein is going to amino acids, that is chemical reaction. That definitely the structure of the compound is going to change. But here when they consider the mechanical one, right, when they consider the mechanical one, what is the physical nature only going to convert. Structurally the chemical structure is not changed. Say example, the biggest bread, right, big particles of the bread. This is small particles of the bread. Same bread is there, but the physical properties only going to change. Right? The next slide. During chemical processes, the insoluble complex compounds are broken down into simple molecules. Actually, the molecules, right? Say example, see glucose, C6, say C6H12O6. Many glucose produce, right, this combine and produce polysaccharide. That is polysaccharide. The polysaccharide is going to change as monosaccharide. Saccharide. Say C6H12O6. Say, therefore, this complex, there are many glucose substance, N mean lot of, many glucose substance combined and make the polysaccharide. Right, this structure, chemical structure is different from the simple one, monosaccharide. Right. So, during the chemical processes, insoluble complex compound such as carbohydrate, lipids and protein broken down into simple molecules, say glucose, amino acids and lipidic acid, glycerol, those are by the actions of enzymes. This is very important. Enzymes are important. Enzymes, the special kind of protein as considered as the enzymes which are important to make these chemical changes. So starch is converted in maltose by salivary amylase. By salivary amylase can be say as ptyalin. Spelling ptyalin means P, silent. Ptyalin, enzymes inside the mouth. Right? Okay. So there are some nutrients that can be used by the body without any digestion, such as minerals, salt, some vitamins, glucose, fructose and galactose. Actually, some kind of food can be taken in the soluble condition, such as glucose. It can absorb directly, not necessary for digestion. You can remember when someone participates in the sports meet, before that sports meet, right, the guidance can issue the glucose powder. The participant, sports meet participant can take it. Why? At that moment, if they take directly the glucose as a monosaccharide, the end product of the digestion, carbohydrate, it's a glucose, end product of the carbohydrate. So outside available, they have took that glucose and taken on before the sports meet. Why? It can use quickly. Otherwise, if we eat bread, piece of bread or potato, boiled potato, what will happen? It takes time to digest and convert the glucose. Therefore, before the sports meet, right, when they participate, most suitable glucose, because that is not necessary to digest. Like that, you know, the fructose, glucose, galactose are monosaccharide. Monosaccharide not necessary to digest. Some vitamins. Why do I say some vitamins? Because certain kind of vitamins not dissolve in water. Say vitamin E, vitamin D, it can't dissolve in water. So certain kind of vitamins, some end product of digestion such as monosaccharide and salt, it can absorb directly. Right? So its mention is here, glucose, fructose and galactose, those are monosaccharide. Then human digestive system. This is very important one, human digestive system. Human digestive system is single tube that runs from mouth to anus. Say example, the human, they said when you eat food, it starts from the mouth. Such as they said, this is like a tube. This is like a tube. From where to there, the end one is, they said anus. right? That is, they said anus. Yes, actually this tube is going to finish is anus. Right? Anus, they said, runs from anus. Mouth to anus. Human digestive system is a single tube that runs from mouth to anus. According to the requirement, the structure has changed at different places. Actually, when we eat food, it should be kept in our body. Therefore, we have a special bag such as stomach. Right? This is the special, but the tube is going to convert. The tube is going to convert. How? That as such as stomach. Here, according to the requirement of the structure has changed at different places. Right? Here they have mentioned, that is. Then you know some glands are there. Glands, liver, and liver also add with this system. Not only the liver, the pancreas, another gland, but the tube is going to change according to the requirement. You know our small intestine is very longest one, right? And 25 feet. Then it is going to convert as the biggest one. The end one is the large intestine. Then there are certain requirement. According to the requirement, yes, this is going to convert as largest intestine and small intestine and stomach and esophagus and mouth. Now students, you can understand human digestive system is single tube that runs from mouth to anus. According to the requirement by the structure has changed as different places. The glands such as liver, salivary glands, pancreas that supply enzymes and other substances. Why it is need some requirement? Say example, the the stomach secretes some substances. Stomach use, right, some substances to digest. Liver also produce bile. It's help to digest of lipids. Pancreas also another gland. It's produce substances to the protein digestion and carbohydrates digestion. Think about the length of the small intestine. Yes, it should be need to efficient absorption. Efficient absorption. So, those are the some adaptations in this digesting system. Now see, buccal cavity. This is possible to say such as mouth cavity. Same things. This is mouth cavity. And have find out some gland, salivary gland. Here these are the tube and it's release the saliva into this mouth cavity. Mouth cavity mean I will differentiate by using color. Yeah, this is mouth cavity because the tongue is there. Tongue, I will put in tongue in green color. This is tongue, right? The cavity is there. Upper jaw and lower jaw is there. So I have marked red color. That is the area of mouth cavity. Into that mouth cavity there are three here, 1 and 2 and 3. Here the sides we have find out, that's this side, right? These glands, salivary glands, can secrete the saliva or produce the saliva and release into that mouth cavity. Then there is a special organ, epiglottis. Actually this canal is here, there are two branches. One canal is going to connect with the lungs. There are two lungs is there. Other one is going to connect with the called stomach. So which is going to with the stomach. Esophagus like a tube. The epiglottis is mostly help to block the food which is not unable to move into the respiratory system, right? That is respiratory system. Because the epiglottis, we can draw like this. We will study later the part how, because according to the time. Here the liver is a green color, I can put it here, the biggest gland in the body. That is biggest gland in the body, right? Liver. It's the bile duct, bile duct also there. This gallbladder, this bile duct, it's released to the tube is here with connected the pancreas, right? See, the pancreas gland is here. Pancreas gland is here under the stomach. Then that also have canal tube, and the bile duct also connect with this tube, and both are open in the duodenum. This is called duodenum, the C shape. The duodenum, this is called duodenum, the in front of the small intestine. This is right, blue color, that is duodenum. Then that continually this one come to small intestine. Small intestine, there are several folded one, and which is connect with the large intestine. And that point we have find out appendix, small growth one, then caecum, and large intestines through follow this here, and this is the rectum. This is a very important one, store the stools, and anus, right? Now in a one view, this is we have studied, this is digestive system, right? This digestive system I can remember because most of the students studies like this, but when you see the past paper, they have given like this position, this position of that they have given. You can remember, see the past paper, right? So there are this position also possible. Sometimes they mention this only small tube, and when the rectum only is the biggest one, and anus. Students should know what is the main function, each organ, the main function of each organs, right? Here diaphragm, like a muscles membrane, thickest muscles membrane, which is divide the chest and abdomen. This is abdomen, upper part is chest, so which is separated by the diaphragm. But diaphragm is not a main part of the digestion system. It's not a main part of the digestion system. In this digestion system mention the diaphragm, but actually this main function of the diaphragm is related with the respiratory movement. Inhale and exhale, that movement is depend on the movement of diaphragm, right? But you should know where is that? The function of take place in the digestive systems are food digestion, absorption, digested and products, and removal of undigested materials from the body. Say, what are the three main processes there? Say example, when eat bread, right? When eat bread, it contain carbohydrate and small amount of cellulose and so something. So here the piece of bread contain these things mainly, small amount of lipid possible, small amount, but mainly carbohydrate. When someone eats this piece of bread, what will happen? It is going to under digestion. So carbohydrate is going to convert as glucose. So carbohydrate going to convert as glucose is the food digestion. This is main one. This is first one. It should be absorbed by the digestion system. Say example, when he eat this one, the bread, it can absorb by the intestines. So intestines are adapted to absorb the main function, to absorb the digestional part, right? So these are going to do some function such as absorption. Say absorption of digestion of product. This is second one. But I said the cellulose, right? Normally in our body don't want digest, undigestible substance. We don't give any calories of the to the cellulose. Say such as when you consider the carbohydrate, we can give calories, small amount of calories. Protein also amount of calories. Lipid also considered as calories. Say you may see the biscuit packets or some food packets, you can see the amount of calories also, energy. Also they have mentioned. But if available the cellulose, but they don't mention the amount of calories because the cellulose is mostly undigestible substance in our body. Anyway, that is help our body such as constipation. Sometimes the difficult to remove the undigestible substance from our body. That time, if available more cellulose, help to lose stools removal, such as constipations can avoid by eating more cellulose. Anyway, here the cellulose is not considered as a calorie food, therefore it is going to remove from our body. So removal of undigested materials from the body. Actually, when the undigestible materials, at that time digestible material also going to remove from our body. That is the reason stool is not considered as a waste substance. Toilets or the fecal matter is not considered as the waste materials due to this reason, because it's contain needful substance such as vitamins, digestible substance, amino acids, lipids also. A certain part, right, can't absorb miss to absorb by our digestive system, but it can remove from the body through the fecal matters. right? That is the reason fecal is not considered as a waste substance. It's not considered as waste substance. Anyway, here these are the main processes important, right? Okay, students. Today we are going to study. We have studied about digestional systems, and initial first class we have finished. We will meet in second class. Thank you very much.
கல்வி டிவியில் புத்தம்புது நிகழ்ச்சிகளை உடனுக்குடன் பார்த்து மகிழ எமது Facebook மற்றும் YouTube பக்கத்தை லைக் செய்யுங்கள்.